all the bikes are very strong depending on the person who is using the bike. Yeah, so the bikes are very strong. Welcome back to our broadcast. So for today, I'm going to share a lot of things. So my name is now David Idiombe. So today I want to talk about the Zambian motorcycle brands that we have. We've got several motorcycle brands. So for today, I would love us to talk about a lot of brands, yes. So I'll mention a lot of brands. Some of them you've heard of them, others is your first time hearing about them. So today I'm going to mention about I don't know where I'll end, but I'll mention a lot of motorcycle brands so that as you are going to buy a motorcycle or you are planning to buy a motorcycle or you are overseas, you are not here in Zambia, to observe what is happening on the market. So today I'm here to give you a highlight of what happens when it comes to the motorcycle industry. Okay, so I am one person who is specialized in terms of the motorcycles and everything. So I've corrected the information about everything. So I've corrected the information about all the brands and their advantages and their disadvantages. So I wouldn't love to talk about the advantage and disadvantage of each bike, but I would love you to know the kind of bikes you need for specific businesses or for anything that you want to be using for. So let me mention about a few of them, the ones I can manage to mention. So we've got a lot of motorcycle brands. So we've got brands that have been in existence for a very long period of time. We've got Honda Zambia, we've got Suzuki, we've got Yamaha, we've got Sinole, we've got Flying Eagle. These are recent companies, yeah. We've got Flying Eagle, we've got eBeta, we've got T-Beta, we've got King Lion. So apart from that, we also have got Hilo Hunters, we've got Bajaj Boxer, we've got TVS. Apart from TVS, we also have brands like Simbaland. Apart from Simbaland, we've got Shanyani. Apart from Shanyani, we also have brands. Like we've got Genimu. The recent companies also. We've got Genimu, Speed Bikes. Yeah, and apart from that, we also have Gatoma. Yeah, Gatoma motorcycles. So these are some of the brands that I would love you to know. So I've mentioned about 16 or 17 brands of motorcycles that we have. Apart from that, there are a lot. Skygo, Zamspeed, all those are brands of the bikes. But now I would love you to know or to give you an advice or you to have information about each bike that you need for a specific time. So when you talk about these brands, we've got a lot of brands. We've got Chinese brands, we've got Indian brands, we've got Japanese brands. Yeah, these bikes are very strong. Yeah, all the bikes are very strong. Others are not strong, but I can say all the bikes are very strong. But if you are careless, even a bike that you were supposed to last for 10 years, it can last for 1 year if you are careless. But if you know how to handle a bike, how to maintain the bike, taking it for servicing, maintenance, and everything and so forth, a bike can last for more than even 10 years. So, there are bikes that you can buy and they won't be giving you problems when it comes to, they won't give you, let me say like, there are bikes that you can buy, you can use it for more than maybe let me say 4 years or 5 years. These motorcycle brands in Zambia, when you buy it, you can use it for 4 years, 5 years, but it won't give you what any problem. So I can say these ones, I call them as luxurious brands because they are very expensive and they have got high maintenance. So it depends with your budget on how you want to buy or on what you want to spend. So I'll talk about some brands like Suzuki, Yamaha. Apart from Yamaha, we've got Suzuki, Yamaha, Honda Zambia. So these are some of the brands I'll talk about. So these brands are most loved by the public companies, let me say government. So most of the government services, they buy these brands because they know that these bikes are very strong. But one thing I've observed, I've corrected in the on the ground, you find that they go to any of the public services where they prioritized using motorcycles as their mode of transportation, you will find that most of their offices, they have got a lot of these brands that I've talked about. They are just parked there. Now, let me ask a question. Why have they parked them? That's a question. Why have they parked them? The reason why they have parked them is not because uh, it's not because of anything, but one thing is because of some reasons. One of the reason is because you find that that bike is very expensive, and maintaining it is also very what? Very expensive. So you find that most of these government offices and everything and so forth, they find it so difficult to maintain those bikes. You find that the bikes are just all over their offices. Why? Because they find it too expensive to repair the bike. You find that the spares are very expensive. You find that yes, they might have the spares, others they don't have the spares. You have to order the spares from abroad or anywhere. But one thing our advice is that you can buy this bike, yes, but the moment it starts giving you problems, just know that you are you are at risk. These are luxurious bikes I've talked about. So I can advise you can buy them, but you have to know that they've got a high maintenance when it comes to maintaining them. You have to be you have to be tough on yourself also. Yeah, because you end up packing it. So the bike can last even for more than 5 years, for more than 10 years, depending on the person who is using it, or depending on how caring you are to your own bike. Yeah. So apart from that, we've got bikes that have got push loads. Yeah, and we've got bikes that have got timing chains. So, but I'll not talk about that much. But one thing I will talk about is their bikes. These they are, let me say, the Chinese bikes. You'll find that the Chinese bikes are everywhere. Yes. Do you know the reason why people are buying these Chinese bikes? It's not because they are cheap or because they don't have money. Okay, yes, that might be a reason. But one thing I'll tell you is that yeah, it might be a reason that they are cheap, but there's one thing that these people are following. Why? When a customer comes to buy a motorcycle from a camp or comes to buy a motorcycle to a company, one thing they ask for is, are the spares for this bike found, and are they not that expensive? So you will find that if the spares are available, you'll find that they will rush and buy that brand. Why? Because they know the spares are also found there. Now you find that these other companies, you find that when you buy a motorcycle from them, when your engine is destroyed, for you to buy another engine, you'll find that the engine is above 50p, just the engine. Yet you can get another Chinese motorbike on that one. So I'm not saying the Chinese motorbike are the best, but it depends with your pocket. But I'm just talking about those people with I'm talking about those people with less budget and everything and so forth. I would advise you get any of the Chinese bikes, because everywhere you go, you find there are spare parts for these companies. There are spare parts for these companies. So there are companies that these same Chinese companies, you find that there are companies that have got spare parts. They sell motorbikes and they also sell spare parts for those bikes. But there are also Chinese bikes where they only sell bikes but they don't have spares. But I would advise you get to interact and be able to find out, because you might get something yet you do not know where to get the spares from. So I would advise everyone listening to me right now, before you buy any motorcycle brand, the first thing that you must prioritize is, how are spares? Are the spares scarce or they are everywhere? Those are some of the things that you need to be asking yourself questions. Because you might buy a bike, then in 6 months' time, because of your carelessness, it starts giving you problem. Now, instead of you enjoying riding the bike, now you start removing money, you start spending on now repairing the bike. So I won't want you to come across that. But one thing I advise is, make sure you get more knowledge about the company that you are buying the bike from. If not so, I would advise, if you want to start a certain business using a bike, first of all, get to interact with someone who has used that brand before, so that they'll be able to share some of the advantage of that bike and the disadvantages of that bike. I don't know if I'm making sense there, so that you'll be able to know to make a decision very well. But I'm making these videos so that you'll be able to be guided on which bike you can choose to buy. Okay? So that you'll be guided on which bike you can use for certain things. So I'll be making a lot of videos explaining about these brands and their disadvantages. I'm not discrediting any company here, but I'm just speaking as one of the people that have corrected information on the background on the ground about certain companies and why people are choosing. In Zambia, we've got a lot of companies now that we can say the best selling motorcycle brands in Zambia. And why are people buying those bikes? It's not that they are cheap, no, but it's because those bikes are coming with their spares, which simply means when someone has a problem with their bike, you'll find that they will know where to get the spare parts from. They will know where to do it, to get the spare parts from, and they will know where to repair it from. What I don't want is for you people whereby you are using this brand, and on that brand you go and buy a certain other brand of an engine you put on that brand. But better you just go and buy that brand which comes with spare parts. If the engine is destroyed, you buy that engine, you put it there because they are cheap. They are cheap also, and that way, that's how we live. Yeah, don't be cheated by where they say cheap is expensive. Cheap is not expensive. It depends with how you maintain something and how you care for it. That's how you can just say, okay, yeah, now we can say like that. So for now, I'll end this video, but next time we'll dive a bit deeper, talking about more about these things, so that all of you people who are wishing to buy motorcycles, you'll be able to have some information before you get anything. So thank you so much for watching us. Make sure you follow our page, follow our YouTube channel, follow everything about us, like our video, watch our video, when you will be able to say, okay, now people are supporting us. Thank you so much for watching us.